all been there. You're driving along, minding your own business when just bam, out of nowhere, you get rear-ended. It's annoying. It's even a little scary, but you pull over, you exchange info, and you move on, right? Well, not this time. Buckle up, because this one is about to get wild. It's Saturday, February 6, 2021, in New Haven, Connecticut. 26-year-old Kevin Jiang, a Yale grad student, is spending the day with his fiancée, Zion Perry. She's also a Yale student. They go hiking, they do some ice fishing, and then they wrap up the day with dinner at her place. So after dinner, around 8:30 that night, Kevin heads out. He's driving his Prius back to his house that he shares with his mom. But he doesn't get far. Just 2 blocks from Zion's apartment, Kevin is rear-ended by a dark SUV. Now, as rear endings go, it's not a major crash. It's more like a minor fender bender. So Kevin gets out to check on the other driver and exchange insurance info. But instead of the usual conversation, the other driver pulls out a gun and shoots Kevin 8 times. Now, some of the bullets are fired so close to his face, he's left with gunpowder burns. Now, this is a busy residential neighborhood with houses everywhere. So one witness hears the crash, looks out her window, then hears gunshots and ducks below her window. Another witness sees the shooter, a figure dressed all in black, standing over Kevin, still firing, even though he's already on the ground. 8 .45 caliber shell casings are found near Kevin's body. Now, what's weird about that is that these are just like the ones found at the scenes of 4 other shootings in the area, going back to December. Now, in those cases, someone shot up 4 different houses for no apparent reason. No one was hurt, and none of the cases had anything in common except the shell casings left behind. So what is going on here? Is this road rage? Did he happen to get rear-ended by a killer, or is this something more personal? Kevin Jiang was one of the good ones, truly a stand-up guy with a heart of gold and so much to give. He had brought his mom from Seattle to live with him so he could take care of her, which says a lot about the kind of person he was. On top of that, he volunteered to help the homeless. He was deeply religious, and he had an impressive background as a former lieutenant in the Army National Guard. But when he was shot, he was working toward his master's degree in environmental science at Yale. And just 1 week before everything happened, Kevin proposed to Zion on what was basically the anniversary of the day that they met at a Christian retreat. And she shared the moment on Facebook. The police are stumped. They've got no clue who would have done this to him. This was an amazing guy that nobody would ever in a million years want to hurt. All they know is it was a dark SUV, a lone gunman dressed in black using a .45. And even with all of these witnesses, they've got nothing. Really nothing. So later that same night, about 15 minutes away in another town called North Haven, 2 911 calls come in. The first call is about 30 minutes after the murder. So this guy, Qinxuan Pan, gets his GMC Terrain SUV stuck on a snowy railroad track right outside a scrap metal yard. The security guard calls it in as a suspicious vehicle, and the cops show up. So Qinxuan calmly says he accidentally ended up there while he was trying to find the highway entrance. He's on his way home to Malden, Massachusetts, he tells them. It's about 2 hours from there. Now, the officer doesn't bat an eye. Apparently, people get lost near that scrapyard all the time. But when they run his plates, a red flag pops up. It's coming up stolen from a dealership in Massachusetts. And Qinxuan's like, well, that's weird. It's a rental. It must be some mistake. And again, he's calm. He's polite. He's not acting like your typical car thief. And at this point, the officer has no clue that there's been a shooting over in New Haven. So they tell him, all right, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're seizing the SUV, but they don't arrest him. They call a tow truck, and the tow driver drops Qinxuan off at a Best Western, but not before this guy grabs his stuff out of the SUV. A couple of bags, a black briefcase, nothing major. And then about 15 hours later, around 11 a.m. on Sunday, another 911 call comes in. This time it's from some Arby's workers who found a bag with a bunch of stuff inside. There's a winter hat, some sweats, a jacket, a GMC Terrain SUV owner's manual. But most importantly, there's a bag labeled with the words City of Malden, Massachusetts, and inside it is a .45 caliber gun and a bunch of ammunition. And get this, the Arby's is right next door to the Best Western where Qinxuan Pan was dropped off the night before. Coincidence? Never heard of her. By now, North Haven police are putting the pieces together. They know Kevin Jiang was murdered by someone driving a dark SUV. And guess what? Qinxuan was driving a dark blue GMC Terrain. Oh, and that bag with the .45, it's literally labeled with the name of his hometown. For a smart guy, this guy was really stupid. So they head over to the Best Western thinking, all right, let's have a little chat with this guy. But surprise, he's already gone. He checked in, but he didn't stay there. He just vanished. So that's when they bring in New Haven Homicide. Now, here's the scoop on Qinxuan. He's 29. He's an MIT grad. He works there as a research assistant, and he lives with his very wealthy parents in Malden, right outside of Boston. Oh, and he's originally from China, but he's a U.S. citizen. Now, their next move is to go and knock on his door, but guess what? Nobody's home. Now they're really worried. I mean, what is this guy capable of? Did he take out his parents too? Are they all on the run? Did they flee the country and go back to China? This thing just keeps getting messier. So they start digging through his social media, trying to figure out what makes this guy tick. And boom, they find a connection to Kevin Jiang. Turns out Qinxuan Pan is Facebook friends with Zion Perry, Kevin's fiancée. And get this, Qinxuan and Zion went to MIT together. But here's the thing, Zion barely remembers him. They met at a student church event back in 2019. They saw each other around, but that was it. There was no romance. There was not even really a friendship, just casual, friendly interactions. The last time Zion even talked to him was in 2020 when he messaged her to say congrats on her graduation. Sure, maybe she got a little vibe that he might have been into her, but nothing ever came of it. But what she didn't know, he's been secretly obsessed with her this whole time. And then 6 days after Zion posts that adorable engagement video with Kevin, Qinxuan shows up and shoots her fiancé in cold blood. Now he's completely vanished. Back in December, about 2 months before the murders, Qinxuan Pan is out test driving cars in the area. But here's the wild part. On every single test drive, he's shooting up random houses. I didn't even know you could test drive a car without the person sitting in it with you. Wait, did I know that? Anyhow, he's basically setting up a string of mysterious shootings. So when he eventually kills Kevin, it looks like just another random act in a bigger crime spree. Talk about premeditated. So fast forward to February 6th, he steals that dark blue GMC Terrain, uses it to rear end Kevin, and then shoots him when Kevin gets out of the car. Honestly, he might have gotten away with it if he hadn't gotten stuck on those snowy railroad tracks later that night. Talk about karma. Now it's a race to catch him. So they know his wealthy parents are helping him. So they start tracking their phones. That leads them to Atlanta, Georgia, but there's no Qinxuan. Weeks turn into months and the U.S. Marshals are playing the long game, patiently keeping tabs on his parents, waiting for them to slip up. And finally, in early May, they follow the parents to North Carolina where things get interesting. At their hotel, his mom does something weird. She borrows the front desk clerk's phone to make a call, and then she deletes the number from the call history. But come on, the Marshals aren't fooled. They dig into it and they find out that she called a boarding house in Montgomery, Alabama. Bingo. They finally catch Qinxuan. They charge him with Kevin Jiang's murder and they haul him back to Connecticut. Fast forward 3 years to February 29th, 2024, and Qinxuan Pan pleads guilty to Kevin's murder. In exchange, he gets 35 years in prison with no chance of parole. So, what do you think? Did justice get served? Does 35 years not even come close to what he deserves? Let's talk about it in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. And if you like getting all the crime in half the time, it would mean so much to us if you gave this a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe so you never miss a recap. I'm Amy. My husband Chris and I are here 3 times a week with news stories, and I'd love to see you back here again soon. Until then, take care.